Dude, I know. Let's go.
Much has me done. Oh, we on, bro?
We
Is that what it
on.
is?
Yes,
Oh, we
sir.
on.
We
Yes,
here. We
sir.
here.
Are we
Yes,
back for a
sir.
second time, bro? First of all, most important thing, how are you guys doing, Mori? Tell the
Dude,
people.
I'm doing all right. I'm pretty maxed out in life right now with school and this and trying to be competitive, but everything's good, right? Everything's good.
That's
Doing
cool.
good.
That's crazy. Mori, what's up, man?
I'm chilling. Just working on getting better with Smash and working on the grind and whatnot. But happy to be here and happy to get into this topic.
Of
Speaking of
course. Oh
which,
yeah, I'm
getting
excited
better
too.
at Smash. Didn't
Yes,
somebody
sir.
just pop off and at attorney? Yeah,
Try my best. We're getting there. We're getting there.
dude. Yeah. Hey, it was nice,
Bro,
man. I caught some of it and it was intense. It was intense. I saw it
Yeah,
on the
bro.
bro. The
live
whole
stream.
I forgot this, bro. The whole venue was popping off for me. I had to take my headphones out. Like after I got to last socket, I was like 180%. Like the whole venue was going, and then one of the PR players in our region, he was in the background yelling. He's like, he's got one more chance. He's got this. He's moving so crazy. I was feeling
The
myself so
movement.
much. I'm like, oh, I can win this. I can win this a little bit.
Movement was
Dude, yeah, it was
crazy.
hype. It was
Yeah,
hype.
Yeah, we gonna talk
I
about
wanted.
that later for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll get back.
Man. But yeah, I'm feeling good as well. Welcome everyone to Meraki's Game Stage.
Let's
Episode
go.
2, by the way. I hope you're doing
Yes,
well
sir.
with us. I'm Cinco, your host for today, with my co-host Mori. Say hello to the people, the world.
Good guys.
Oh, what's good, everybody? How's it going,
It's
chat?
going crazy. Yes, sir. So today we're bringing you a very important topic, a topic that literally everyone is talking about, bro. It has not left the people's mouths for I don't even know how long.
Oh no.
We're gonna talk about Brawlhalla's problems.
Oh wait.
Brawlhalla's problems.
We're trying to cover that in one episode? What?
In one episode, probably not. You probably see the part 1 in the title. It's impossible to do it in one episode, bro.
Part one.
It's impossible. So honestly, where else is better to start than literally at the core, the foundation of the game, bro? The foundation. And honestly, I think it's gonna be best to hand it off to Mo for this one, honestly.
Yeah, so something we've talked about a few times is like the basis of fighting games, right? And it's based around this like rock, paper, scissors mentality of attack, defend, and grab. And Brawlhalla as a game doesn't allow for this rock, paper, scissors development to exist, and therefore there's like a fundamental basis of the game that's just lacking because there's no commitment, And obviously something when you don't have something covering the other thing, it allows one thing to become much stronger all around.
Okay.
Usually it's gonna be the defensive option, obviously, and then for Brawlhalla's sake it is. But which is unfortunate, but it's just the case.
So Moiro, I'm new to the fighting game scene, right? Like Brawlhalla is my
Yeah.
first fighting game. What are you like? You're talking about like these 3 major things, right? Like what's a good example? Like what's a good game that that you could showcase that with, and like you could actually like, we could go with.
Yeah, I think like Street Fighter, I guess, is the best example because it's like I guess it's the grandfather of all fighting games,
Okay.
But like and it's the basis of like if you look for anything of neutral, Street Fighter is the best fighting game to go to. Basically, it's the most neutral based. It's all based around just like fundamentals and understanding the game as much as possible. And I think that when you look at that game, it's a lot of the chaos that comes from the game is player based rather than it being the game itself. So it's like really easy to understand like that relationship that the fighting game fundamentals those 3 have with each other in that game.
Right.
I think
And like
Smash is also a good example too.
Yeah, like the funny thing I want to tap on is like you said the grandfather of all fighting games, right?
Yeah.
And so like that term in itself like denotes like longevity. And we see that out of like basically every traditional fighter, even like whatever, like Mortal Kombat, in just like all like NRS games.
Yeah.
You can even get like a little crazy with like Tekken, but it still has the same like grab, block, like it has parry, it has crazy things, but like it still fits in those fundamental like 3 rules. And to date, so far, the only platform fighter we've seen.
You check the stream still up because he's frozen.
Yeah, I'm still here, guys.
It's still up.
Okay.
The camera's frozen. But like the thing is, out of all platform fighters, the only one that's done it successfully is Smash. Like Smash covers all 3. and it basically always has. But like a problem that we run into in the platform fighting community is that nobody wants to be a Smash clone.
Yep.
Even though fundamentally what Smash has done has worked.
Yep, exactly.
Like other fighting games, like Mortal Kombat didn't come out like, oh, we don't want to be a Street Fighter clone. It's like, okay, we're gonna take the fundamentals, we're gonna make something unique with ourselves.
Exactly.
Do you think that's the downfall here with Brawlhalla right now? Is like that they tried they tried a little too hard to stand out from the crowd, and they're in this position now where they kind of can't backtrack. And
I think I 100% believe the reason why Brawlhalla fails as a game competitively is because of the fact that they tried so hard to not be Smash. And then now that you look at the way that the game is going now, like the way that they're building the game, it's more and more so like, all those things that we missed because we were trying not to be Smash, let's slowly add those things in over time, right? And it creates a weird dynamic that the game is always in a weird state of just not ever being good. Like, it's never fixed, right? It's like, it's just a bunch of issues that just keep piling up on each other, and then it's just more and more and more and more and more of it. And then it's like, oh, let's fix like that one in the middle, that really small, tiny one. And then there's like, but that removing that one thing doesn't fix like anything else. It just creates a new set of problems because there's still lacking the other fundamentals it needs to be good.
You're basically talking about like the Band-Aid patches like that we get, right?
Yeah.
They're small little fixes, but they make people happy for a minute, and then it's never fixed.
Yeah, it's so crazy because like I feel like the thing about it too is like when you look at Brawlhalla like from before to now, like when lands were a thing, like open lands were a thing, like when we go to tournaments, like the Brawlhalla like the way that they used to do balancing was way more risky.
Radical, bro.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, they would be more and more risky and more a lot more just like it takes risks on everything, and things would be like weapons would literally fall out of the meta frame one, just from one patch, right? Where they would go from being like the best weapon in the game to literally unplayable, basically, which is extreme, but at the same time, it created the ability for the game to always feel fresh. And then there was just a point where they just stopped doing that altogether, and the game just started slowly just becoming like, well, what weapon got power crept this patch? What weapon got power crept the next patch? And it's just been that. Yeah, and then it's just like and instead of doing, because like for instance, right, the Axe has been meta for the last year and a half, 2 years.
Forever.
Yeah, right. And the thing was, I said this when they started doing patches like that. Me and George talked about it, where I was like, if they keep going the way that they are, Axe is going to be the best weapon in the game.
That is facts. You did say that. You said that, bro. Like probably like 2 years ago at this point. Yeah. Maybe a little. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I remember hearing you guys. I remember hearing the discussions about it when I first came around. You guys, for sure.
Yeah,
man, and like
the
funny thing is too, right? Because like you were saying, like they've definitely like lowered the risk factor with the patches, which is like a bunch of people's problem with the game right now. And like if you look at the last patch where they they made like 4 changes to Axe. Like the maximum airspeed, the drift. But then like you kind of look at the tournament that we just had over this past weekend. We didn't see too much from NA. Like NA, you see a lot of like gauntlets, bro. A lot of scythe and like a lot of sword from NA. Yeah. But something we talked about that they didn't even really change was like Lance, right? But you saw EU abusing the hell out of it, and EU is ahead of the game a lot of the time, honestly. Even though we love to shit on EU a lot, EU has been weapon throwing for years, bro. EU has been playing Ulgrim since Ulgrim dropped.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we were over here like, bro, Ulgrim is ass. Like, what EU is ass? What are they doing? But like, you see, like, bro, these guys are like visionaries. They got us here. They got us here. So like,
yeah.
I think the reason why that is though is because I feel like our region in general, just like our patches, think of everything too safe. Even though they want to be able to because I think everyone in a sense is a meta slave in terms of the top players, right? There's only a few people that are like character specialists. Capsar or Ethan.
Cody Travis is crazy with it.
Cody Travis, Zinker.
We could probably throw a wrench in Zinker. There's a fair amount of them. Yeah, I mean, bro. I mean, he's a guitarist, bro.
Well, okay, I'll give that up, right? Yeah, true, for sure, right? But
that boy, ride or die.
Yeah, but specialists of character specifically is literally just like the 3 of y'all basically top level, essentially, right?
Right.
Which isn't a bad thing, but at the same time, it's like in that case, everyone is a meta slave. Maybe not in the sense that like you're playing whatever the top tier is, best weapons in the game all the time, but you're playing whatever you believe is going to be able to win, regardless of what the patches tell you.
Right.
And with that in mind, I think Brawlhalla, a lot of the players, they knew that they looked at the patch and they were like, these things didn't get touched and these things were decent before. We're gonna play those, right? Regardless of how they might feel about the patches. Let's say that like EU is taking a leap where they're like, these things are broken. We're gonna play them. That's it, right?
Right.
Where NA is like, let's give it some time, figure out how the general basis feels, and then we'll come to a conclusion on that, and then I'll pick my main for the season or until the next set of patches come out, right? And it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, if that's really how you feel, I feel like taking your time on that it creates that level of safety that everyone wants to be able to rely on, right? Where like, for instance, like if Boomie's playing Petra right now, is he, or I guess Ryu, is he going to be playing Ryu at the end of the season when he believes that, I don't know what the best weapons are going to be, but like if he believes Siphon, Gauntlet, and Lancer be the best weapons, is he going to be still playing Ryu, or is he going to switch to Artemis? You know what I mean? Like,
right. So
what's the?
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but like, what do you guys think? Like with that, because you're saying that's basically what's the word I'm looking for? Like that's the most productive play. Like that's what they do. They find the most productive play and they do it, right? And although it might be potentially the most quote unquote potential like that you could do. That's the best for you. What happens if you throw like? What do you think happens if you throw NA versus EU like actually like an actual LAN, and these people get to meet up? Like, do you think the diversity of NA is going to be able to counteract the quote unquote meta? Because essentially everybody over there is basically prepared to fight the meta, right? They're practicing, they're learning, they're prepared to fight the axe, they're prepared to fight the lance. And then you throw in, let's say, somebody crazy like Radish on the Ryu, right? Is that going to be enough of a mix-up to like make it a difference, or do you think that meta is just that strong?
I think if you were to put the top level, like the top 10 to 15 of the current Brawlhalla NA versus EU, if it's not Olgard, I don't think they can win. I'm gonna be real with you.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting take. Hold on, go into that, bro. Hold on, I might think differently, bro. They kind of nice out here in NA right now. Hold on.
A little bit.
Listen, I'll give it up for sure. But I think there's a layer of understanding of the game for one, and then for two that EU has, and then for two is I think a lot of the fact because a lot of the EU players right now are still a lot of the ones that were really good a few years back. They're really strong. Yeah, and they're really strong. And they have some of them, except for maybe Acno and Godly probably, and a few. I mean, obviously others, but like out of the few, like the ones I'm thinking of,
demon, bro.
He's so good. He's so insane.
Yeah.
But like they either have lane experience or they have a lot of experience being at the very top of the game. Because like they're not like
they're not new. They're not new. They're not new to the game. They're not the up and comers that just like thrived on the meta. They were here for previous metas. Exactly. So the switch up might not affect them very much.
I think they'll be sure. I think the one thing about NA, it doesn't matter what the game is, NA versus, or if it's any talent that's out of state, they're always more ready to be able to have to play out of home field way more often than NA is every single time.
Are you talking about like Korea and like different games?
Japan, no matter what the game is, it could be shooters, or it could be tax shooters, it could be Smash, or it could be other fighting games. They're ready to leave home court and prove themselves to be the best, right?
Right.
NA is very privileged in the fact that majority of the stuff we have to deal with is in our home field, so we don't have to worry about that as much, right? But at the same time, as like the experience of going to LAN. If you're going into this with a mentality that you're going to have the same experience going into like an online tournament, you're going to lose.
Right.
This is what it is. You're not going to be able to win. And I think a lot of the current kids don't understand that fact. And if they don't get that understanding, they're gonna get shit on. Like, that's just what it is.
Like the thing is, there's an insane amount of factors literally online. Like if you're active at all in Brawlhalla community, you'll be on Twitter. It could be anybody they might not even be PR'd. It could be PR1 at the time. They'll be like, yo, like, well, I have this fucking $10,000 PC. Why am I still dropping frames on Brawlhalla? Why am I still lagging? When you like, bro, we can't even get like the talent out of West, US West. Like, they're getting fucked.
Dude, I could drive down this rabbit hole of the game being poorly optimized. Like,
let's go, Maury.
It's absolutely insane. We've got it on our home team in Meraki. We're seeing it with our family members here. The struggles of trying to get this game to fucking run properly is insane, man. And we're talking about a little fucking Flash game, right? Like, I should be able to run this on my
my goddamn cell phone, bro.
Dude,
something.
No, my cell phone runs this game 100% better than my $1,600 gaming PC. And if you can't tell me that's not fucked up, like, I don't know, man. Absolutely insane.
We're out here paying hundreds of dollars for monitors for 240, 360 hertz just so we can play the 60 frame game way better.
Dude, and the thing is
crazy.
There's the main a big problem that I feel like a lot of people really don't even understand, and it could be a big deterrent for like people who are trying to even play the game casually, right? Is like, I bet you over half of the casual players don't even know, like, even if they're on PC, don't even know that there's like a Brawlhalla tech test, right? That you can run that's going to make the game run better, right?
Yep.
And then on top of that,
about launch options in general.
Exactly. On top of that, then you have all these multitude of different launch options that work for this group of people, that work for this group of people, and don't work for this group of people. It is insane. Like, every other week, I'm changing up my launch options because my game is like just lagging for no reason, absolutely no reason, and it makes no sense. And like, I don't know how like Brawlhalla BMG like hasn't thrown out like this is our optimized settings. Like, this is what we've come to a conclusion. If you are playing competitively, try and run these settings that like give the launch options. Do we run it on tech test? Do we run these launch options on tech test? Do we run it on the regular game Brawlhalla? Which one, right? Do these launch options work better for the tech test? Do these launch options work better for this? What graphics system should you run? Like, if you have AMD, do you have GeForce? Do you have whatever, right? Like, you should use this and this, and they should have something. There's nothing. You cannot find anything on the Brawlhalla website to optimize your game, and that's absurd. You have to dive through random Discord channels or find something on Twitter or hope somebody posted something on YouTube.
Yeah.
What other game does that?
None.
I believe you're about to say something, Moru, if you remember your point.
What I was gonna say is like, well, the original thing I was gonna say was like, this game is 300 megs. Like, there's no reason it should be like this. But also, BMG makes too much money for your servers to be this ass, and you guys not to give us information. But the reason why, I mean, we know the reason why they do it is because they don't care. Like, they actually genuinely don't care.
What's the reason?
It can't be possible.
What's the reason? Right?
They don't care.
Exactly.
So like, since you brought it up real quick, I don't even mean to interrupt, but
yeah, go ahead.
Again, like, you say they make too much money, right? Let's talk about it for real. They make too much money. They make enough money to that where they can put 1.3 like whatever how like 1.3 million into esports.
Yep.
But we
just
know
giving money away. That's literally just giving $1.3 million away. Just there you go.
Yeah, but we know that they don't make most of their money from esports.
Right.
Yeah, we're like a small fraction.
Yeah, so you can. I'm not even gonna throw out a real number because we don't know that for sure. But you can only imagine how much they have for whatever else they do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Can one of you look it up?
These changes. The last time I looked up the net worth of BMG, it was around like 8 million, right? But like, who knows what these?
Oh, yeah, no, like, so I saw a post the other day. Like, there's what, 50 million active players, is that right?
Yeah, and I believe the statistic is you play at least once a month to be counted as an active player. That's what.
So at least once a month, and they like they do the same setup as what, Fortnite, to where like all the in-game purchases, the battle passes. You got 50 million people. They're making money off of that. The casual player, like
bread.
Dude.
Because the thing is, like, just to get a skin, it's like $10. Like,
right.
Off rip.
One skin, by the way.
You know how many skins I got alone? You know how many skins?
Yeah, like, no, same.
I know.
And the thing's like I don't even play the game seriously like that anymore. Like I still buy skins. Well, not anymore. Like but the last couple months I have like, but like I'm saying like like if I play Apex, I'm paying $20 for a skin, right? And it's like, and I paid $20 for that skin. I'm going to be using that skin. I play Brawlhalla. I have bought like skins out of characters I don't play anymore. I played like twice maybe. I have too many skins for characters I'd never fucking play. Like it's just what it is, right?
Right.
There's too many skins. Like, and then that doesn't count you paying for any of the other cosmetic options in the game. Like there's all the other things that you could possibly want to buy, like KO effects and all the and any of the podiums, emotes, weapon skins, yeah, everything.
But to like
right?
back this up, to like wrap this up, the whole point,
Yeah.
like these are the things that sell, right? This sells.
Yeah.
The esports even sells a little bit, right? But what doesn't
for
what
sure.
doesn't sell is them announcing, "Oh, we've optimized our servers and we fixed your guys' ping rates. We threw in a US West server for you guys." That doesn't sell. That doesn't sell.
It doesn't.
Yo.
It's crazy. It doesn't sell.
That
Because
does
you're
that does
right.
them nothing.
I think
Right.
to double back on that, right? We're talking about specifically about the competitive scene being part of the money aspect, right? Brawlhalla players feel like Brawlhalla players will sleep more comfortably when they realize that the competitive scene for Brawlhalla or even BMG just as in general is just a cash grab. They don't care about you at all.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the competitive environment. Please dive into that, bro, for us.
Yeah, because like okay, I'm a Smash player, right? And Smash has been a grassroots scene for literally its entire inception, and we're only more recently kind of becoming something more than that. Because we got a circuit announced from VG Bootcamp, and we got one that's announced between Panda Global and Nintendo. Finally, even though we have no information on it, but at least Nintendo's acknowledging us, which
How
is
many years has
amazing.
it been for that to happen, by the way?
The Smash community has been around for like 17, 18 years now. We're literally like it's a full grown adult.
Right.
How long we've been doing this by ourselves, you know?
Shit, almost old as me, bro.
So we've been struggling for a long time, but like the thing is, the difference is that Smash has been able to create this family and understanding of like everything was based around what we wanted as a collective, and we were able to make the decisions we wanted to make it make sense to us, right? You could even look like one thing that something that Smash has is like a lot of tournaments that are fighting game tournaments, they screw us over by making rules that we don't enjoy, right? Like Evo makes it that all of our matches are best of 3 until top 3. By the way, we always have more entrants in every other fighting game, but we get until top 3 we don't get best of 5s.
Yeah.
Same thing with CEO and Combo Breaker and all of those.
Remember when Ultimate was coming out and they ran that exhibition tournament?
Yeah.
Didn't they have like wonky rules on that too?
We talking about for the one that Nintendo did?
Yeah.
They did for part of it. The last one was like whatever, but like they did for part of it. Yeah, it was a little sus, but. But it's like whatever. It's an exhibition. They want to show off all the different things about the game. I'll give it up. I don't sure. But like Evo, you are literally you are the fighting game Super Bowl. Why are we having to fight just to get best of 5s when every other fighting game gets it?
Right. With way less entrants.
We have Smash has the most entrants. Smash Ultimate, the first Evo Smash Ultimate was there, still has the most entrants for any Smash Ultimate tournament, by the way, and any tournament period to come to Evo. And we still didn't get best of 3 till top 3. We had over 3,000 entrants.
That's insane.
At a LAN.
Yeah, at a LAN, bro.
But we still didn't get best of 3 till top 3.
There's a bunch of LANs where that 3,000 beats all of the tournaments occupant.
Yeah, that's everyone in the tournament. Yeah, that's literally everyone that's going to the tournament.
That's a whole venue, bro.
Yeah, literally.
So would you say that at least BMG is doing that, right? Running their tournaments?
No, and I'm gonna get into that and say why. Yeah, no, and I'm gonna say why in a second. So the reason why I say no, right, is because even with all the times we've been screwed over, even all the things that have happened, right, we've been able to create this level of what we want and being able to like stand by that for the last 18 years, right? Bro, you don't ever get that decision. It's what BMG says and BMG says only. And if the tournament doesn't go the way that you want, it's just what it is, right? You just gotta hold it, right? In terms of factors like rules or maybe even maps or
maybe even the frequency.
The frequency of tournaments, having locals, like any form of lands. The only ones you guys get right now are invitationals. Like something we were just talking about was the fact that Brawlhalla is currently in a position where they want everything to be controlled, and because of it, Brawlhalla does not allow their competitive players to be able to get the experience of actually being competitors, because you only get it in the concept of what Brawlhalla wants only. If you're like, for instance, if I get to practice on my own, I get to go to locals twice a week, or I could go basically almost every day of the week if I'm being honest. Like we're almost to that point in Maryland, but for other tournaments, other regions, they can do that. You can go to tournaments every single week, every single day of the week. You have multiple majors a month, like 3 to 4 a month. So you get consistent practice across the board, and then so you get to work on what you need to work on to be able to make that work, right? And be able to get better and become a competitor and be able to win. This is not just for Smash, by the way. This is for any fighting game. But
Right.
Brawlhalla doesn't let you do that.
Right.
When do you get to be able to be a competitor and be able to practice outside of the rank queue, outside of experimental, outside of doing spars with the same 3 people, because you can't play the top players because none of them they only play each other, and then most of them don't want to play the game anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so
was about to say, most of them don't be playing the game.
So-
What's up, Maury?
okay, this might be a little controversial, and I think Cinco's kind of got a little bit more info into it, but with what you're saying, you know, and how like their tournaments are run and like no outside practice and kind of limited and all these things, right? So what do you think about Cosmic's most recent tweet about tournaments?
Oh, the invitational one?
The invite-only meta one?
I think he's got somewhat of a point, and I think it kind of fits into what you're talking about, but there's some issues with it.
It just kind of, I feel like it was just portrayed wrong.
I think I think part of it, and I think also it's like it's definitely like misinformed from the fact of like you never experienced this before, like
invitationals.
Invitationals in general, yeah, like because like he's like, oh, you know, it's kind of weird that like, you know, there's no other point of going unless you're
most players don't want to go because they can't compete.
It's like, yeah, no, you're not. The things you're not going, only the 32 people are going. That's it. Like that's yeah.
He's got a point though, like
yes,
with what it was just portrayed wrong, and that might be why he got some kind of like the heat he did for his tweet.
Definitely.
Yeah, I hope they don't like let it like mess with the overall message he was trying to put out there when he says
basically
BMG
one
is kind of that too, along with like him saying like BMG is trying to push an invitational only meta, invite only meta, which that's I mean, for everybody who's like not consistently like top 16 PR, that's basically what it is, bro. 2021, like before 2021, we would have like what 9, 10 plus open tournaments a year, which is like pretty low in frequency in comparison to like, you know, other fighting games, whatever, right? But we were getting time to compete like at least once a month at a major,
right?
Whether it's online or in LAN. But last year there was like what 4 open tournaments, 4. So you're telling me that everybody else who was literally not top 16, you get to play in February, then you get to play in April or May, and then you get to play in like fucking August, and then maybe you get to play in November, like October, November, because they had the qualifiers,
right?
Like whatever. But it's like what? And then this year, which like we haven't seen the whole year yet, so we don't know everything that's coming. But we had Winters and Omen Oasis, and then the only other tournaments that we have confirmed that are open are the 3 other seasonals. So that's gonna, if it continues like this, that's a grand total of 5 tournaments, where last year it was around 4 to 5 as well.
And all the lands are in like high seeded invitationals, because like what you have to place what top 3 in the seasonal.
In top 4.
You have to place top 4 in the seasonal to make it to the invitational, and that's the only way you can go to a LAN. Like that's
so insane.
It's insane.
It doesn't allow growth. And then like the thing is too is like we have so little tournaments. It's like you have 4 like if you go back from last year, you have 4 chances to make it into BCX. 4. You have 4 chances.
Right.
4. Like to make it to the biggest tournament of the year.
A very yeah, because you have to literally win that tournament,
bro.
You have to win it.
Yeah, the way that the game has grown and the player base has grown, and the way people have learned to exploit the game, like there's in the BCX qualifiers, there's so many people who are old pros who have like more experience. They might have like they have all kind of things like working in their favor, and then like you're some random playing against them, and it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I haven't even had the chance to play these people because they don't even play the game no more, basically.
Dude, wait, huge point on that. Huge point on that, because Moira pointed out, you get 4 opportunities to try and make it to BCX, right? There was literal people who didn't go to tourneys all year and still qualified, right? Do you remember that? Who was it? Somebody tweeted that out. They didn't do a single tourney and they still had the PR placement to go to BCX.
I don't remember who it was, but that did happen. Oh, alleged, potentially it was iThrow. Who knows, bro?
But that's insane because if
Dime said
it's only 4
get out
options.
Of top 50 until like the last tournament of the year.
It's insane.
Yeah, he literally played in like no tournaments. He still had his PR. Meanwhile, you have hundreds, maybe even thousands of new players coming in, competing, placing wherever,
putting in the effort, and it doesn't matter.
But you got it, bro.
Does not matter.
No dime, yes sir. No competing. Top 50. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's insane.
Cool, bro.
Like,
cool, bro.
That's terrible right there with the lack of tournaments, because like look, and it shows too in like the with Godly, he's won his last 2 1v1 tournaments, right? He's won the last 2 of
8.
Yeah, and you're PR 8. And you've won your last 2 majors, and you're PR 8.
Like if you saw any of it, it was like pretty convincing. Like he dominated, bro.
I don't know,
but like that domination wasn't really like, it's not really reflected. And so like,
because you're PR, because it doesn't make sense. You're literally, because like the thing is, you're the best. It's like you're the best player in the entire region, but you're not given the respect of so now.
I could understand 1. You win 1, you show up for 1.
Yeah, sure. Because it's like, who knows? He could be, but like, still, even if you win 1, you should still be top 5. Like, because at the end of the day,
won.
How many people from EU have actually won tournaments last year?
Right.
2, 3, right? It was like 2 or 3.
Not many. Sure. I think there was
like Acno.
Last year was a ton of Acno, I believe.
Yeah.
Did Pavelski win 1?
Pavelski won BCX.
I
wasn't sure.
So 2.
It was like 2, maybe potentially 3.
Potentially 3 people. You win the first tournament back. Why are you? If at worst you should be only below these 3 people. At worst, but there's people who have even won tournaments and you're lower than them. And you win the next one right after that.
And you win the next one.
Yeah, indeed, he wins the next one. But let's talk about PR real quick, because like a part of how Brawlhalla PR works is like who you beat contributes to your PR. If you just won 2 tournaments in a row.
You're beating the top players. You're beating the best.
Why are you not eating? He literally beat Agno. Agno was like, let me double check this right now, because I'm pretty sure Agno was PR1. I just want to see where he's at right now. Agno is number 2 right now, which I'm sure he was like number 1 before.
Dude, that's
so you basically beat him out probably in both tournaments. One of them for sure.
For sure, yeah.
And you didn't really like. What did you like really gain from his PR?
Barely top 10. You're barely top 10 after winning 2. Like, that's just absurd.
It doesn't make sense,
strange, bro.
Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can put in that much effort. You can literally go through the entire gauntlet, prove that you're the best, and still not be rewarded for it.
Twice.
And the thing is, like, you have to think about it too. He's PR 8, so meaning that when he gets into tournament the next tournament, if he's still PR 8, he still has to go through someone he would normally not have to fight until he was like winners, finals, winners, semis as PR 1 at his quarters, or maybe just to get in the top 8.
Right.
That's stupid.
So, like, it could literally be the difference between like a top 12 versus like a guaranteed top 5, top 3.
Yeah, like think about this, because I don't know how Brawlhalla is seeding, right? But like if there's a potential that Agno and Godly could play just for winter semi, just to get into winter semis.
It's probably not gonna happen because they do a mix of PR and do a mix of recency bias. So his seeding for the next tournament is probably gonna be around like top 3 for sure.
Right.
That's what I would assume. That praying, right? That's probably what it's gonna be.
So that's weird. It's even worse. You have to hope that it works out. But
I don't know how it works exactly, but those are like
I know
factors.
Because Brawlhalla doesn't want to tell nobody.
That's the thing too, dude. That's the thing too, because like, this is something that's bugging me. Because like, I mean, I'm obviously not high up on the PR leaderboard, but I'm working on it, right? And like, I get my best placement in ones, and my PR drops. I get my best placement by a long shot. And what I used to like is BMG used to always throw out they at least gave us the reasoning. They threw out that spreadsheet. You could look at the individual point numbers and see, okay, this is why this person got these points. This is why you like, or whatever, right? It's now we're now almost 4 months into the year, and that spreadsheet's still not out. Where is the spreadsheet for this year? It's still not out.
What happened? Yeah, they used to do it after like every tournament where you could literally see why you are where you are.
Yeah. Unless they have a hidden. I mean, I even went into like the official Brawlhalla Discord asking for help, asking the mods in there for help, and they could not find any recent thing other than last year's. And we're 4 months into the year.
So that kind of just adds on to the point of what Maru said about Brawlhalla just has like an iron fist over how the competitive scene is growing and like what they wanted to do, when, where, what. Like we don't really. And like the thing is, I think BMG's been like riding on the community building that they did like early on.
Yeah.
And which I mean, because some of what they started early on was like not common back then, for one, and two, they're still keeping up with it basically, which is like what, 3 dev streams a week. People, people get to like see and talk to these people basically like pretty much, right? But it feels like they're doing the same things, but it's empty now in comparison to where like before they were like you could see a really decent feedback to implementation like ratio. Like these people were. Oh, go ahead.
I think a big reason why though is because BMG wasn't ready for Brawlhalla to become what Brawlhalla is now. Because back then, I feel like there was a lot more of their connection was closer because of the player base, and also like they they were closer to the players back then because LANs were happening more consistently, so they were seeing the players. They were they were part of the community themselves. The BMG is not part of the community now; they're completely separate.
Yeah, I don't think they handled well because I feel like they had, especially over COVID, right? I feel like they had a huge blow up in at least a player base, right? So they went from being this small, tight knit community that was like very like connected, like you said, and they're not like I don't know the best way to put it, but like they're not handling like the fame, quote unquote, as well as they need to, because they're no longer just a small little game that nobody knows about. You got a 50 million player base here, right?
Yeah, you're really one of the biggest games out, like genuinely, and it's something like just what it is. Because everyone it's free and casual. Like there's nothing you have no stake in it.
And it's weird because I want to kind of like pivot off of that point where we have like the biggest, the big, like basically one of the bigger games out, and like how it was like super community based, they're not handling the growth well. So if we have all of these players, right, and like people might throw out the whole like Brawlhalla's dying kind of thing, right, and it'll like somebody would like throw it back at it like we have 50 million players. The numbers on the streams are like bigger than they were before, and it's like cool, but like I want to like talk about like our actual committed player base, right? Like say old pros, and like when I was coming up, like when I was like literally trying to come up in like 2018 through 2020 ish, I could queue up and I would get crazy games against all like a bunch of the pros at the time because people were like still invested in the game. Like it was honestly so frequent. Like there's like at least 2-3 people that I have over 100 game record with, and like obviously it's terrible. It's like literally like 25-75 for like all of them, but like 100 games between the like just me and them.
Yeah.
You know how much you have to play of the probability with all the other people in ranked as well. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like the way, like again, like the way they're handling everything, the way that like dialing back to how we even started the show, the whole rock paper scissors thing, how people play the game now. People figured out how it was fundamentally lacking, and they're abusing the absolute hell out of it. The skill gap decreased so much artificially. Like it's not the fact that everybody's just getting so much fucking better. Is there I don't even know how to like
There's less to
end
worry
off that
about.
point.
There's less to worry about now. Like
There's a lot
before,
less to worry about.
yeah, I think also too, like on added on to what you're saying is like another thing is like even double back to the beginning of the conversation in general is like the way that they patch now. Like the thing that back in the day was like weapons could suck, but they would still be able to kill you off of a single interaction if you effed up wrong, right? Like all weapons were like strong, like they suck compared to other weapons. They didn't all suck. Like they were just like everything was strong in the sense that like you could win a tournament with everything, right? Now but instead of like patching how they used to, where like things were like everything was like fluctuating in terms of like what was strong about a weapon, what you had to relearn the game essentially. Now it's basically like they keep demoting weapons in terms of taking stuff away and patching just things downwards over and over again, that everything's coming down to bare bones gameplay. So you have so much less to worry about. Like at this point, like what is the point of even worrying about a situation if like if I get hit and I go from white to orange, why do I have to interact with you ever again?
Right. Well, I mean, to kind of make a point on this, I literally, like, what you're saying is like you can win this interaction or you could die off a single interaction, right? I literally just posted a clip of me getting 10 unanswered hits just nonstop on spear on this Ragnar, and I don't kill him off of this, and he was already at yellow, and I get 10 unanswered hits and I don't get to kill off of that. Like,
Yeah, and the crazy part is, because again with rock paper scissors, like the defensive option, which is like running away and like using your dodge or whatever, is so strong in comparison to attacking that you would be in a losing position if you keep trying to push your advantage and they're actually waiting you out and trying to like
right.
react to what you're doing.
Yep.
There's nothing like locking them down. There's like even though you, like you said, you got 10 unanswered hits, they're like 5 color changes like worse off than you. You don't really have an advantage.
You don't.
Yeah, especially if your opponent's mental doesn't, like, if he doesn't get scared and doesn't like, and he's like a decent player and he's like actually stays cool and level-headed, like there's nothing to it. Like there's, like you said, there's no risk. Still, they still can still do what
You
they
gotta be
want to do.
Decent.
Right.
Because dumb players don't get scared either.
Yeah, true.
They
You're
don't know what
right.
to be scared of, but they
don't care.
And they just
They
chill,
watch
like,
they watch a tournament, they see what Luna does, and they copy what he does. Congratulations, your PR. They don't have to be smart. Just copy.
Your skill level is literally like 1,000, like just 1,000-fold of what it was before. It's funny because like when it came to Winters, where we saw all of those like salty tweets from people like Hardy, Sansi, whatever, which like salty, like I definitely don't mean salty in like a derogative way, because like it was founded in like a genuine real concern.
Yeah.
Hardy literally tweeted like, "Yo, they're gonna have to make pools best of 5." It's like, what do you like, and this is directed at like Brawlhalla. Like, what do you mean pools have to be best of 5? Why does that even have to be an idea? Why, like, you're telling me like a skill gap, there's not enough of a skill gap to where you can just kind of like, waltz your way through pools, kind of like how it was before, like 2020-ish. Like maybe you could even argue part of 2021. I'm not even fully sure, but like these players don't have to. These players don't even have to know a fraction of what you know.
Right.
They don't have to have a fraction of the experience that you have to be able to compete with you. Straight up. So what is the point of putting in all this effort? You see all of these pros, new, like, I don't even know about new, honestly, but like old, like people anyone who came up, you could say from like 2016 to 2020, a lot of them are like, yo, I don't even like playing this game. I hate this game. There's people who are, people who don't even really play in terms. People who play ranked, they're like, I hate this game. Everybody runs. Everybody does this, and that. And there's no built-in answer for these things. But because there's no built-in answers for these things, there's like no real answer for these things. Like,
dude,
what do you do?
This what were you saying about like people, like all these people saying like they hate this game or they're done with this game type of thing, right? I think this kind of goes back to the vibe of like what you were saying about how like people's argument with the game dying is that there's 50 million players and it's growing. Their numbers are better than ever, right?
Yeah.
Right.
However, that may be true, but why did those numbers start to grow to begin with, right? You've got people like, we're just going to go out there right now with it. Like, you've got Sandstorm, right? Probably the most popular Brawlhalla player ever, right?
Well, let me say something about Sandstorm real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
About Sandstorm real quick. If you go to YouTube and you search up his name, Sandstorm
Exactly.
versus,
That's what I'm
you just
doing.
leave it blank. Yeah, Sandstorm versus, you just leave it blank, and you sort it by highest views, or even if you just like look up Brawlhalla and look at their channel highest views, Sandstorm has like the top 5 highest views, and they're all over 1 million.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I just like took your point, but like, bro, what?
That's literally my point. So you've got this guy. Like I said, I'm new to the fighting game community. As soon as I tried joining Brawlhalla, obviously the first thing I'm going to do is look up gameplay, right? And if the gameplay is not exciting, fun, energetic, whatever, interesting, why would I want to play the game? But luckily for me, I load up Brawlhalla, I throw it up on YouTube. Who pops up? Sandstorm. And these games are exciting. They're literally, I'm like watching this thinking like, holy smokes, this is what you can do in this game. These are the things you can do. These are this is insane. This game's going to be wild. This game's going to be so much fun. I want to play this game, right? And you've got that guy bringing people here, right? Oh, but where's Sandstorm now? Where is he now?
Where is he?
He's done. He's done. So this kind of reiterates to the point of the game is dying. So people are saying, well, they can kind of see a point of the game dying in competitive, but that's not really affecting the game overall because the casual side of the game is thriving. But what people don't understand is the trickle down effect, right? I feel like the casual point of the game right now is thriving because of the past explosiveness of the competitive scene. With people like Sandstorm, with people like Boomie, Cody, Travis, all these old guard people, and these people that are quote unquote like getting fed up with the game or are already done with the game. Those are the people that brought you your casual player base. Those are the people that brought people in, and they're done. That's not going to have a good effect long term. Short term, yeah, we're probably going to continue to be up on this growth of like casual players continuing to go up and everything, right? But once that gameplay becomes stale, like it is now, like you go watch a Boomie Sandstorm Sandstorm versus Boomie or Sandstorm versus whoever, and you're in the millions of views, and you look up BCX 2021, Brawlhalla BCX.
He's looking it up right now.
2021. I am. Right here.
It's been what, 4 months? 4 months now?
Right here. The overall stream only has 62,000 views. Who was the winner? Who won BCX 2021?
Cody Travis.
And Cody Travis, he did.
Okay, I'm gonna look up that individual BCX 21. Cody Travis.
It was versus Java, wasn't it?
Java Grand Finals only has 12,000 views, and you've got I'm sorry, that's nothing compared to Sandstorm's 2 million plus views. And this is BCX. This is Grand Finals. BCX, supposed to be the biggest tournament of the year, and we only have 12,000 views. That does not have good long-term effects for the casual player base.
At all.
Now, I want to ask this, actually to both of you. Now, how do you think the viewership drop relates to how BMG is handling the competitive scene, right? Because again, within the past, since 2021, it feels like they've just tried to put a tighter grip on what it is, and they're trying to manufacture it in a specific way. With as Cosmic very honestly very eloquently put it, the invite only meta.
Yeah, I think the lot of it for Brawlhalla is that they want to create the narrative of how they want their storyline to go, and not let the players create the storyline themselves, right?
Right.
And that's not good.
It's not genuine. It's not real, and it's going to be. It's more obvious, and it's more and more obvious as the time goes on. And you look at obviously we talked about the fact that they still haven't put out the doc for the PR. Why wouldn't they do that if they actually have the information? Just put it out.
Just put it out.
I don't think they do, because I think they want to create the narrative of what they want their storyline to look like.
Right, and when you create the storyline, you have BCX. Cody Travis versus Java Grand Finals. That's what you end up with 12,000 views. when you let the players create the story, when you let the players be the players and do what they need to do to make the game fun and play the game the way the game's supposed to be played, you end up with Sandstorm versus whoever with a million plus views, everybody hyped for it.
And then the crazy thing is there's a bunch of other players too. I know there's like Stingray, Noel, Boomie, etc. They have sets themselves that have like upper 5, like in like mid like 6 figures worth of views.
Right.
Like they other people were getting views too. Like
Yeah.
I don't like it's definitely not just Sandstorm, even though he had the lion's share, like a crazy majority of the views, or like the attention and attraction to his name.
Yeah, and I think a big thing too is like the people have to understand that when it comes to this trickle down effect, it affects how the game blew up, but it's going to also affect the game's decline as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, the game is steadily growing now, but at the same time, if Brawlhalla keeps patching the way they're patching, and everything starts becoming like more stale, the gameplay has no player expression. So the thing is, it goes from being like Brawlhalla goes back from looking like a flash game you play on like some random ass website that give you a virus to being this insanely like really cool combo heavy, platform fighter. So going back to like that, what they look like, yeah. So going back to like how it looked originally, because it says everyone's just 3 swing attacks, sitting in the middle stage, not playing the game no more.
Weapon throw, disengage. The edge guards don't even really exist like that for the most part. Like there's
no point. Why would you risk anything ever?
I can't even blame them because like you said.
Yeah, there's no point.
This makes such a great point because at the beginning of our talk here, we talked about how Brawlhalla tried maybe a little too hard to stand out from Smash, right? And then they shoot themselves in the foot because the one thing they do with standing out and allowing players to stand out and make unique and be unique, they took it away. The one good thing that they did about like stepping away from like quote unquote Smash and being their own game, they're shooting themselves in the foot by taking that uniqueness away, right? And now you had that, at least that going for you, right? But now you're taking that away, and now you're going back to this stale gameplay. It's going to, long term, it's going to have an effect on the casual player base. I know the argument right now is like any game, obviously, the competitive scene isn't like the majority of the players. Like that's not anything we've ever like thought. Like no game is heavily competitive. Every game is built around being casual. Yes. But for it to succeed, your casual gameplay has to be either absolutely just out of this world phenomenal, or you have to have a strong competitive scene that makes people excited, that makes people want to, they watch it and they go, I want to do that. I want to be that. I want to be Sandstorm, right?
100%. Because I think the thing is too is like when you look at like for instance, like people talk about like Overwatch or Rainbow Six, right? Those games are you can say that those games are casual, and like in every single game that has a rank system, the gold is the middle ground for every rank system, right?
Right.
But like I don't care what anyone says. Overwatch didn't die because the game got boring. It died because the competitive scene stopped being big. Yeah. Because they got bored. Nothing to do with the casual players, because casual players don't give a fuck about patches. Casual players just play whatever they're told to play because they don't care. They're playing casually. Like, it doesn't matter to them. A patch doesn't do anything for them. It literally does not. It doesn't even change a thought in their head when they see like, oh, my character. Like for instance, when they change, I'm sorry, really quick. When they change like Reaper in Overwatch, right, from the fact that he used to have his little orbs to currently have his vampiric passive. Like, no, you want to know who outraged? The players that were top ranked players, top 500s, and then the people that were playing competitively. They were like, this doesn't make this is a weird change. No one else cared. They just played the game. It didn't even matter to them.
That's what blows my mind, because I'm pretty sure I've seen this come up in arguments where, like, again we get into our outrages about Brawlhalla's patching, and they're like, oh, like, they got a patch around casual. We say, and like the thing is, I think BMG can like really get away with this because our Brawlhalla player base isn't like. We're on a free-to-play game. Maybe people didn't experience many other games. Maybe they haven't like seen these things happen, but they're like, oh, BMG has to patch around the casuals. The casuals don't give a fuck. They don't even know. They don't even know what. They don't know what 99% of the shit is in the patches anyways, bro. What the fuck is frame data? Who cares if you have like two extra recovery frames on your goddamn hammer and light? What?
Right.
They don't know what that means to them. That does not affect them in any way, shape, or form.
And then it gets even crazier because then they're talking about like aerial drift, max speed, velocity, variable force. What casual is looking at this and be like, oh, damn, they changed this. I don't want to play no more. Are you out of your mind?
All right.
Nah. Like they're like, oh, you gave me one more variable force on my end sig for Val. No longer playing. What? That's a buff, actually. But like, they don't care. It doesn't make sense to them. It literally does not make sense to them. They don't understand that thought process at all, right? It doesn't matter what game it is, and Brawlhalla especially, because it's like, and that's what my thing is. It always the same thing that happens. Look at Overwatch. Overwatch got boring because they kept patching downwards only. Brawlhalla is getting boring because they're patching downwards only. Any game, that's what happens. They either put too much crap in it, or they patch downwards only. So what happens?
Yeah. And like because like you said, the players don't care about the patch specifically, right? Yeah. But what does affect them eventually is this again, the trickle down effect that we're talking about, to where, okay, this gold player, now he wants to be better. What does he do? He looks up a YouTube video. Who does he see? He sees Luna playing what? Taros, playing Axe. And so these gold players start playing this, right? And then, so your casual players end up having to fight this new, like, boring, quote unquote, play style. And that's what's going to eventually make, I guarantee you, that's eventually what's going to make a casual player quit, is when they queue a Taros 10 games in a row and they get NSIG'd off the side of the stage. And you know, that's when they're done.
This guy's fucking running away from him, and they can't do anything to get in on this guy meaningfully.
Right. They don't care about the patch notes, but the trickle down effect from the patch notes is that they're fighting this Taros for the 10th time and they're getting NSIG'd off the stage.
Yep. And another thing too is people don't understand that the reason why some games last so long is that, again, the trickle down effect affecting strategies and meta as well, right? So when it comes to shooters, or not even shooters, I'll just say, like, for most games, right? How it works is that when people start doing it in the competitive top level scene, everyone in the top level scene starts to do it, then the top ranks start to do it, and then the rank under them, and then the rank under them, and then until it becomes the norm for the entire game that you have to know how to do this to be able to play the game effectively at the lowest level possible.
And the only way for you to figure that stuff out again is to go to YouTube,
to look it up and figure it out. Yes,
that's the gaming world today.
Yeah, it is. When I learned League of Legends, right? So when the game starts before, like, all the menus come out, right? When you're playing casually, you just go to your lane, you just wait, right? But then the thing is where, like, teams will just hide in bushes and wait, and then they'll jump your teammates before the minions come, and they'll kill them early so they can get some extra experience, gold, whatever, everything, right? It just helps them out. So that's what they would do, and the thing is, where they learn that from? Well, they were doing it in top ranks, and then everyone started doing it until they got down to bronze, and then everyone just, now what they do, if you watch a bronze lobby, they will literally, everyone sits in a bush and waits to make sure that their team doesn't get jumped, and then they go back to lane afterwards. Everyone does it now. Everyone does it. It doesn't matter what it is. Everyone does it.
It eventually makes its way down to the lower ranks.
Yeah, it's funny because people used to complain, or like they'll make like these jokes about people. They run into experimental low ranks, whatever. See a damn Mordex trying to get their reads off on them, and then they're like, "Oh my god, look, another Sandstorm fan." But at least the Sandstorm fan was trying to actually play the game.
Yeah, he was trying to get his combos off. Luna fans be sitting in the middle of the stage.
Well, so, and then like with the most recent, you got the Omen Oasis. No hate, like, do you to get your win. But then you're going to have people like Experience, and you're going to have the players who are literally just hopping on the edge of the stage, waiting for you to make a mistake, literally just refusing to get off of the ledge, right? The second that anything bad potentially happens to them, and they just run to the edge of the stage, and that's how they play. Like, that type of gameplay will eventually, if it blows up, if that's what we have to stick to because of the meta, because of the way the game's being optimized and the way the game's being played, that's eventually going to make its way down to the lower levels.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And mind you, the way that people run, the way that people cover the space around them, none of that is gonna change with these weapon balance patches at all.
Nope.
Like these,
Nope.
the way these patches are structured is literally just like it's honestly just bullshit. Like they want you to think that they're doing something meaningful. You play the game, you talk with your friends, and like, oh wait a minute, they did this to Axe. Oh, I'm you know, guess what's the number one weapon? Gonna be number one weapon now when people start actually fully playing it. It's gonna like Orb is gonna literally be top one, and then guess what people are gonna do with Orb? Instead of being in the corner and like delighting on Axe, they're gonna be jump daring. They're gonna be jump like whatever, doing the same shit. The same. They're gonna be occupying the same spaces, committed to the same strategies. It's literally just going through a different medium now. Yep. So like, again, like these patches mean nothing. They mean nothing.
Nope. So do we even have enough time in this podcast to try and break down like the potential what can we do to fix this? Like, do we have the time to dive that? Like,
short answer, Brawlhalla 2. Nah, but
you're not wrong.
Basically, bro.
But yeah, I don't know. We're about exactly an hour right now, I think, right?
Something like that, bro. But yeah,
so that might have to be a part 2 or even a part 3.
Yeah, because I still got some things, but we can make it a part 2 for sure.
Yeah, you know. So how are we feeling with everything we talked about so far? Like, anything else you got to get off your chest?
Man. Closing thoughts. Brawlhalla, hire players to be your balancing instead of just one person to be your entire team.
They got a team, but you know, I mean, he's ahead.
But I mean, like, bro, it don't matter. They don't know what they're doing. They're a bunch of bronze players making patches. They don't know what the hell's going on. Hire Noel. Hire freaking like players who don't play the game no more.
Listen to Foda. Actually, listen to Foda.
And listen to Foda, please. Nintendo doesn't even like us, and they hired pro players to balance Ultimate.
They did do that.
Dude, that's so smart.
Bro, when Ultimate came out, all the character changes that happened were because there were pro Japanese players that got hired to help balance the game and balance it for the entirety of the game's lifespan for patches. Everything.
I think the only stipulation is that they can't compete, right? Isn't that the thing?
Yeah. I think they can compete now, but they couldn't compete while the life cycle was going on.
Oh, like while they were still, on the balance team.
Yeah, okay. But I'm pretty sure they can compete now because one of them competed recently. He got like top 8 at a major.
That's insane.
All right.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
that's smart.
It was, and the thing is, they were like, yeah, of course we're gonna do it, and people were like, oh, that's the reason why this character is so strong. This character is so strong, but like all the characters that they made aren't broken.
Right.
Like so the game is, and the thing is, every character is viable in Ultimate. You cannot see the same thing for Brawlhalla.
Not anymore.
Once upon a time, perhaps.
At one point it was for sure, but now, no, not even close.
So
there's like 5 viable characters right now, in my opinion. maybe like we're at the most 10. Just stupid, man.
So
yeah,
let's figure out balancing, right? That's Moira's closing. Players.
Yeah,
listen to your actual players. Balancing. Yeah, listen to the people that are in this scene right now that are actually competing, and let their voices be heard.
Because we don't want the game to die.
We don't.
We want it to be better.
We love the way literally we put thousands upon thousands of hours in this game. Absolutely. We're not gonna be like, fuck Brawlhalla. We hate Brawlhalla. End it. Like, bro, please fix it.
Yeah, it's literally the opposite.
That's what got us all knowing each other in the first place. Fix the game.
Yeah, we want to continue to be able to play Brawlhalla, but like right now, it's just not in a place where it's even viable. But yeah, that's my closing thoughts.
For me, I definitely have to reiterate the unclarity of optimization for your game. Like, okay, fair. Like you're working on it, that's fine. Let us know what you've got now. Okay? Put out something. Put out something for our launch options. Should people use these launch options to begin with? What launch options work for what reasons? Like what problems that are potential? Like they know all the problems out there. You can't tell me they haven't seen all these people's complaints, right? So be like, you have the team, you have the ability. Put out something. Put out like a little post on your main page. Something. Talk about that. Like, fix that. And clarity again on the PR. Like, give me that spreadsheet. I want that fucking spreadsheet.
Facts.
So yeah.
Agreed,
Man,
George.
that's how you feeling? Okay, cool. And honestly, for me, bro, it's gonna be like a hybrid, like overall feel. I believe of the other like Mori's closing thoughts. It's like, please make the players like matter again, bro.
Yep.
Like,
Agreed.
make the players matter again in competition and balancing everything. Cause
Yep.
like, I can, if you look at the moves, don't forget what people tell you. Like, they could tell you anything they want so you can believe what you want, but like, look at the actions and like tell me like what is actually like what's really going on. Like, we have our biggest prize pool. We've had our biggest prize pool in 2021 and 2022. And that was like 4 tournaments.
And you lost your best player, your number 1 player.
Yep.
Like, please tell me what that even means. What does that mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, that's like about what I have to
Oh,
say.
I have literally last thought. I'm sorry, actual last thought. BMG, regardless if you see this or not, this needs to be said. Stop putting out empty promises. Stop doing it.
Please.
Just either don't promise or fix the things you're talking about. That's it.
Or keep us up to date at least. Like, okay, yeah,
Something?
we're still working on this, guys. Like, so maybe be like, this is the issues that we're I don't know, like what people like clans for consoles. I know they talk about it all the time. I haven't read up on this could potentially be a bad example because I haven't caught up on the latest dev streams.
No,
But like, if they were like, so here, we're still talking about clans for consoles, but this is the issues we're running into. It's still something here. We're still working on something. Just let it be talked about. Like, tell,
Yeah,
or
just
be
like,
like,
if you-
no, it's not happening. It's just, don't think about it, guys. It's done.
like,
It was a bad problem.
It's gonna be a long time before we work on it or something. Any of those things, like, it's low priority. But okay, cool. That gives us information. Just let us know. Either let us know what's going on. Stop telling us things that aren't true, or just fix them.
Yep.
Like, any of these 3 things work, or all 3. Just stop giving empty promises over and over and over again. They've been saying that they're going to do something with clans since clans came out, and nothing's happened. Like, that's just one example, one basic example. Clans have literally been in the game since clans existed, and they've never done anything with them.
It's funny because like the last time I remember that they did like a full on or attempted to do like a full on transparency thing is when Wrench had that long ass Google Doc that was like probably, I think it was maybe it was like 2-3 pages. I don't remember correctly right now, but it was a long Google Doc that they took onto a dev stream and they addressed his points like one by one. And again, like to tag on to your last thought is a lot of those, like, it still feels like they're like empty promises because like we got words out of them on what, like, clans of the console, like, we're working on that. And but that was how long ago, bro? I don't even know anymore. Over a year, I believe, at this point.
Yeah.
So please, I like literally please. And honestly, I think that wraps it up for us.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so thank you.
I just want to say everybody, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you everybody for coming through. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the support on Meraki's Game States episode 2, the Brawlhalla Problems Part 1. So we're gonna be coming back with some more for you. We did, bro. We talked about like what 3-4 things, perhaps. There's so much going on with Brawlhalla that it's just too much to do in one episode, honestly. So again, thank you for coming through. Any thoughts, feedback, please leave it for us on Twitter, YouTube, everywhere that this episode is gonna be published on. So with that, thank you. Have a great night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.